Hey, what's up, guys? I got my Air Force retired hat on here, and I'm loving it. I'm loving retired life. But I wanted to make a quick video about how to pick a Copart car. And this is a conversation I've had a couple times now, so I figured I'd make a video on it. Okay, so when I was a young father and I was trying to figure out how to take pictures of my kids, I had some advice, and they said, it's important to get close, get closer, and then get closer again. So that's what I'm going to advise for you guys with Copart. And so when you're looking at these pictures online, it's important to do the same thing. So you're going to switch it over to HD, and then you're going to get close by zooming in. And then once you think you have a good car, it's important to go and see it in person. So you just don't know what you're missing with the app. You can see a lot of things by zooming in, but once you are there in person, you can listen to the way the engine runs, if it runs or not. And remember, don't do anything beyond your capability or beyond your budget. Make it fun for yourself. And remember, guys, cars are just for hobbies, okay? If you really want to make money, you got to switch over to real estate. Buy those houses any way you can, rent them out, deal them, sell them, get rid of those realtors, okay? They're just going to take your money. Do everything you can by yourself to make money. So when you're zooming into these cars, guys, it's important to remember, just be a part changer, okay? None of us are professionals here. We're not professional auto body people. Chances are we don't know how to weld, or even I can do air conditioning, but that's very rare for most at-home shade tree mechanics. So what I'm encouraging you to do is just be a part changer. In the auto body world, if I call you a part changer, that's basically an insult. Okay, so that means that you have no skilled labor. You don't know how to weld, or you don't know how to straighten bodies out. You don't know how to measure, and you just know how to change parts. So, being that we're not professionals, just be a part changer. No one's gonna have fun or point fingers or laugh at you. Just get your hands dirty, have some fun, and see what happens. So that's what I'm encouraging you guys to do. Have some fun. Don't get in too deep. And believe me, I have bought cars, including that Highlander, uh, where I spent too much money on it. And at this point, I'm just trying to get my money back. So yeah, don't do what I have done. Okay, go on site, go check out these cars, and have fun. See you guys. All right, guys, we're going to open up Copart app, and I'm going to show you what I look for when selecting a car. So, but please keep in mind, everything I do here does not cancel or negate going and seeing the car in person. So this just helps me select which cars I want to go see when I go to Copart. This car looks pretty good. Let me see what the damage here is. The damage here says water flood, and I'd be interested in taking a look at this car. So in this case, even if you have to change the engine, this car would still be worth it to buy. So you see there's no airbags deployed or anything. It's not a bad little car. It's in good condition. So I don't know if the water got into the engine, but even if it did, I'd replace the engine and you'd have a really good car. Okay, moving on. You can see this car was hit in the front, but I believe most of the damage was just superficial. And we're going to take a look here. I'm going to take a closer look. Okay, let's start off with this one here. I'm going to hit HD, and I'm going to really zoom in. So I'm looking at this metal right here, and I don't see any damage, even though most of the damage or most of the hit or the impact was on this side of the car. I don't see any impact behind this fender. So this fender support or fender apron around this area, it really doesn't look bad. I mean, in fact, it looks great. And the other area I'm going to look at is this corner piece right here where the bumper is. I don't see, okay, See, there's a bumper right there. It extends all the way across the front of the car. But beyond that, as we go in deeper, I don't see any major damage to that frame rail. Also, it's important to note that the way this car was designed, this entire corner piece here is only supported by a headlight. The metal of the radiator support, or the core support, extends from the front all the way to the side where the fender is. But in this case, it does not. In fact, you can see the plastic is still there behind the fender. The damage is very limited because it was plastic. So in my opinion, that's very good, and it limits the damage. So even though it looks terrible, chances are all the damage on this car, it can be remedied just by changing parts. So you get a new fender, you get a new hood, bumper, grill, bumper cover, radiator, air conditioning condenser, and there you go. You have pretty much a new car again. And this side looks pretty much untouched. Let me switch over to HD. You always want to check your pillars and your door. It looks a little bit bent out of shape, but I really don't see anything that would cause me to worry on this side. So this is definitely something I would want to see in person. I'd be interested in this one to possibly purchase. The only thing I don't like is that the airbag was deployed. I've never dealt with that. So I think you'd have to replace the airbag and then reset the computer, because now there's a code in the computer where there's history saying that the airbag was deployed and that it was once in an accident. So you have to clear that, replace the airbag, and of course replace all the parts, and you'll be good to go. All right, Kia Rio. It's going to be the same story here, guys. This one, very limited damage here. There's some damage to the pillar. That, of course, would require some metal work. The door would have to be replaced. But besides that, it looks pretty good. You know, it looks like it needs a bumper cover, a grill. The headlight even looks okay from this angle. That side looks perfect. So you can zoom in here. The door doesn't look very good. Of course, that would have to be replaced. No airbags, so that's good. All right. Go to HD here. All right, just looking for anything that kind of jumps out here. Now, the mounting tab for the headlight appears to be gone. I believe that's where the headlight mounts onto the frame there. So you're gonna need a new headlight. Possibly a new core support, but I don't think so. It looks pretty good from this angle. Yeah, so door, fender liner, and the pillar is going to need some metal work. Possibly a good investment. Runs and drives. Here's another example. It's a 2019 Toyota Corolla. And I'm picking this one specifically because there's a couple things on here that I really want to show you. The radiator support on this car is metal, so it's very important that you know what you're getting into. This radiator support, it looks like it didn't sustain very much damage, so it's definitely something you want to check out in person. You can see the fender, it looks like you can take it off and replace it, but there's a little bit of damage right there to the horizontal radiator support. The hood might be repairable. You could probably just roll that dent out, sand it, and repaint it. And of course, the bumper would have to be replaced. And let me show you what's unfortunate about this car. Possibly 6 airbags on this car deployed at the same time. Okay, you can see one in the upper right corner on the right side of the vehicle. So that's 1. On the opposite side is 2. 3 on the seat. 4, 5, 6. So yeah, it could be 6 airbags deployed on this. And there could be one down where the knee is. I'm not sure.
So at least 6 airbags have to be replaced. And I have no idea how much those cost, but you also have to reset the computer. Now, another thing that's interesting is that this was listed as a no start and no run. However, look at the battery on this. I'm going to switch this over to HD. You can see that they disconnected the battery. And they don't even try to get these started, guys. Like if they put the key in and it doesn't run, guess what? It's a no start. So I can guarantee that this engine runs. I don't know why they disconnected the battery. It's not that big of a hit in order to damage the engine. So the engine is good. However, we don't know how many miles are on it. If we were on site, we could probably connect the battery, see how many miles are on it, and go from there. But just by going with those airbags, oof, man, I would not look at this vehicle. So the radiator support might be repairable. You might be able to just pull it out and hammer it and go on from there, but those airbags are going to cost a fortune. All right, here's our last example. We have a 2012 Toyota Highlander, 60,000 miles, front end damage, runs and drives. This is a really nice car. Overall, nice leather seats, no airbag went off. However, let's zoom in here on the engine, and I want to show you guys the radiator support. So you can see on the bottom here it's twisted. Way down there it's twisted. And there's some deformity up here as well. And this radiator support does not unbolt. So it did unbolt from the center. The center section is already missing and it's not attached. But what remains has to be welded. So if you guys know how to weld, you can go for it and take the challenge. But for me, I'm not going to address this vehicle. So as you guys know, we've already done a 2015 Toyota Highlander, and it needed extensive repairs to the frame and to the radiator support. And I personally do not want to do this ever again. It was just way too much for us. So, but on the other hand, I do like changing parts. So if I can find a car that just, all I have to do is change parts, it's kind of fun. So, overall, guys, this is what I look for. I just try to be a part changer. If I could be a part changer pretty easily, I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll end up with a nice car and pretty stress-free. But if I have to go to the auto body place and pay a lot of money, or buy a welder and do all this specialized type of work, and it's just going to cost more and more money, and I'm going to try to stay away from it. Well, that's it, guys. And what did we learn today? Number 1, be a part changer. Number 2, go and look at it. Number 3, have some fun. Take care.